I just want like a Plagueis and Palpatine like kind of adventure deal, like just Apprentice Palpatine and Plagueis, and it would probably not be super action filled, which may be a reason they wouldn't do this. Yeah. But just that ideology that would be explored, kind of diving into it, and maybe if they broke it into different aspects, like okay, this part is talking about how we're going to rise politically. That's like a couple episodes. A couple episodes of it are, strictly dark side. Like it's real dark. Like, hey, this is Sith stuff. And then a couple episodes of maybe like how Palpatine got to Plagueis or Plagueis got to Palpatine or whatever. Like, I think that would be interesting to break it into a few parts because they do always break these into segments.
Right.
And that would be a way that you could focus just on them and have like a couple mini arcs for each one.
I don't know though. I don't know that the lack of action would hurt it necessarily. We kind of talked about Dooku's art earlier, and I don't think action necessarily means it's going to be amazing, right? Like Tales of the Empire had a good bit of action, but it was a little underwhelming to me. Now
it was a lot underwhelming.
Unfairly being compared to Tales of the Jedi, right? Like that was really at the top. But even then, despite the action, it had lots of action, but I wasn't really sold on Tales of the Empire.
It's the only good parts of it.
So, man, take a risk. Do just kind of a slower like Master and Apprentice, because that wasn't right. The combat, the action pack wasn't really Plagueis or Sidious's thing, right? Like, give me some of their adventures in terms of how they're trying to manipulate things, how they're trying to change the Force, how they're trying to gain this knowledge of immortality. Like, I think a lot of Star Wars fans would love to.
I would love it. I just think of like, can you throw out a trailer for this with no action and get people pumped up about it? Like every trailer scene is just them two lurking around, like there's got to be something,
Oh man, that I want to see that. Somebody needs to make that trailer now.
It can't be just like
around. Like
young Palpatine like kicking his dog or something, like learning he's bad. Like
I get what you're saying. It would be harder to build up hype for it. It'd be hard to sell it to people. That's where I kind of wonder, like how much, like what the viewership is expected on these animated ones anyway. Like,
and maybe it could be,
are they even drawing a casual audience to these tales?
And it's hard to gauge that too.
Because if not, then just do it for the fans, right?
If they're already
not, and if they're easy enough to make, then by all means, like throw something out there that the fans are going to love.
But you could have some action though. Like they could be. Sidious had to learn how to duel somehow.
Yep.
So he could. Plagueis could be teaching him stuff like that. That could be a trailer thing. He could be learning how to do Force lightning and like shocking someone. I don't know. Like that would. There's ways you could do that, but I do think that would be a fun story, especially if they threw in some stuff from the Plagueis novel into that, just to show like, hey,
would make people happy.
We hear y'all. We know you like this. And so, because, they could go to Amazon and just get the numbers on how many of these books have been sold, or like the downloads on Kindle or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just going into that and seeing like, wow, this has like a really big following right now. Let's give them a nod to that. I don't think that would be a bad gesture from Disney Lucasfilm to do this.
Well, not only that, but you alluded to it earlier, like Plagueis, to be so significant of a character, there's nothing other than a name drop and a peek around the wall.
2 seconds.
Right? Like, and so I feel like at some point they've got to give us something on Palpatine's master, right? Like it's such a significant thing at this point. Like you mentioned, I feel like it's inevitable. So why not go ahead and throw it out there in that form? See how people receive it.
Depends on how deep into Abeloth Dave Filoni is and whether he can venture into Plagueis at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to be the one that
might have his hands full.
Yeah.